What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Nye, and welcome to another episode of the What is Crypto podcast. Today, I'm sitting down with the team from Crix to talk about exchanges and to discuss what an exchange is and why it's important to the cryptocurrency ecosystem. The Crix team has a mission to provide the crypto trading community with a fully regulated exchange, offering significant benefits unseen anywhere else. And today, in this episode, we discuss what is an exchange, what's the difference between a centralized exchange and a decentralized exchange, and we discuss many different other factors when it comes to trading and when it comes to where to put your money and where it is safe to put your money. Finally, guys, this is not financial advice, and we are not financial advisors. This is specifically for education and entertainment purposes only. And guys, if you want to join our community or you have any questions about this podcast or any other podcast, head over to our Twitter channel or head over to our Facebook group. You can find both of those at whatiscrypto.com, and you can ask any questions to us there, and we will answer you accordingly. All right, let's get into the episode. So let's talk about exchanges. Can you guys give me a run through and a basic definition of what is an exchange?
Well, so exchange is a place where you can exchange your asset for money or another asset. So basically you can come and, so for instance, you want to buy something or sell something. So you come to an exchange, you submit your order, and the exchange will find the counterparty which wants to buy or sell you this asset at the price you want, and exchange will match these counterparties together. So you do the trade.
Yeah, not much I can add to that. Is as you know, Dimitri says, it's a matchmaking app for buyers and sellers of certain things.
And how does this work in general? So for someone who doesn't know about order books, buy orders, sell orders, can you give us a basic run through of how all this functions?
Okay, so you have to deposit some funds or assets if you want to sell assets, or funds if you want to buy assets, and then you open kind of an account with the exchange where your assets or funds will be credited, and then you place an order. For instance, I want to buy this amount of asset, for instance, Bitcoin, at this price, and this order goes to the order book, and it will be matched with the order from another trader if the price matches. Alternatively, if you don't want to wait while your order is matched, so you can say, I want to buy at market price. Then you just give the amount of the money you want to spend, and the exchange will match it with the best priced orders, and you'll get your asset bought. That's pretty much how it works.
Simple. Anything else to add to that?
I mean, maybe for people that don't know what an order book is, I'm not sure. It's pretty much just like, all the offers to buy and sell something that have already been, registered at the marketplace. So I can go to the exchange and say I would like to buy one Bitcoin for $7,000, and if no one else would like to sell me that for 7,000, then my offer kind of just gets into the order book and it waits there for some potential seller that wants to sell me his Bitcoin.
Yeah. So normally in the order book, the orders are grouped by the price.
Exactly.
What's the difference between a centralized and a decentralized exchange?
Well, so centralized exchange means that you deposit your assets or money to the exchange, and exchange keeps these assets or money for you. And this allows the exchange to basically match the orders instantly. So with the decentralized cryptocurrency exchange, you own your own assets, you own the private keys, and basically your assets are in your wallet. So when the order matches with the order of another person, so you need to send your asset, and it takes time. So this trade will not be settled immediately. So you need to do something before you get the assets you bought, or you need to wait, or you need to send an atomic transaction or something like that.
From a technical point of view, one important distinction is that the centralized exchange would do all its trading off chain. So none of the trades are actually seeable on the blockchain itself. Whereas, a decentralized exchange would use smart contracts, and smart contracts are like contracts that are written in a very precise language, so they don't need any interpretation by lawyers or similar. And these smart contracts handle have the role of the exchange, and they handle the matching of the buyer and seller, but everything actually happens on the blockchain itself.
Yeah, and the downside of that is that basically in the blockchain, this transaction, which corresponds to your trade, needs to be confirmed, and this confirmation takes time. So this transaction is not immediate. While on a centralized exchange, you can have these transactions confirmed immediately. So basically, if you want to trade high frequency, you want to buy and sell, taking advantage of the moving prices and stuff like that, so you need to go to the centralized exchange. If you want to just buy an asset and hold, it's good to go to the centralized exchange.
Absolutely agree.
Awesome. That's a super good rundown of what a centralized exchange is and kind of how it works. So let's move on to the next question. When talking about centralized exchanges, where are my coins? Like, how are they held? How are they stored? Things like that.
Yeah, so we touched this already. So in a centralized exchange, the exchange stores the coins in their wallets. So there are various stacks, can be hot wallets or cold wallets, but the wallets are controlled by the exchange normally, or by a custodian with which the exchange has an arrangement. Whilst in the decentralized world, so you just send your coins to the smart contract, as Robin said, and the smart contract basically handles this from now on, so handles the exchange of the value.
Anything to add to that one, Robin?
Dimitri quickly mentioned cold and hot wallets. I guess, just for the listeners that are interested in their safety of their funds, cold storage or cold wallets are wallets that are not, directly accessible from the system. So normally, funds get transferred there and back like once a day or in some regular interval. And this is also why, sometimes when you try to withdraw a big amount on exchanges, they won't let you do it for another 24 hours because they actually have to activate enough funds so you can withdraw.
Yeah, so going a bit deeper into that. So all exchanges, they have part of the funds stored in hot wallets, part of the funds stored in cold. Just because, obviously, if they have a certain amount of assets under their control, it does mean that all these assets will be deposited and withdrawn every moment of time. So normally, there is a percentage which being deposited or withdrawn, and this percentage is stored in the hot wallets, and the rest is stored in the cold wallet. So basically, the key of the cold wallet is not connected to the internet. So that's the difference. So it can be stored on paper in a vault, or it can be stored on a USB stick in a vault again. But the key thing, or on a machine, but the key thing is that this machine or this paper or this USB stick is not connected.
Getting into the topic of insurance, right? We see in the normal industry, and what I mean by that is the fully regulated financial industry with banking and beyond, funds are protected. If I go to Best Buy, for example, or go get lunch and my credit card gets stolen and they charge it up, depending upon the bank, but most of the time they'll refund all of that money to me and they'll cancel all of those funds out. But in crypto, that's not necessarily the case. Are exchanges insured? And if so, to what degree?
Okay, so normally it's emergent in crypto space. So it is a trend that exchange uses a third-party custodian to hold the funds, basically hold the crypto assets. Normally, the cold storage is insured, and in some cases, the hot wallets are insured as well. So this normally means that there is a multi-signature wallet, and one of the signatures is being kept at insurer. But obviously, not all exchanges use this because this costs money. And also, another thing is that we can only tell about the reliability of this solution once something happens and an insurance company covers the losses. As far as I know, there were no precedents of that so far.
Awesome. Anything to add on to that, Robin?
Not really. not my field of expertise.
I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, and our sponsor is UnityCoin, the world's first stablecoin diversified to provide you with financial freedom and help the world via giving back through charity donations. The UnityCoin is a stablecoin pegged to a diversified index of assets for financial security against a volatile market. While national currencies are inflationary and cryptocurrencies can be volatile, growth and stability come from automated diversification. UnityCoin aims at giving and delivering this automated diversification on a daily basis. One of the really cool things about Unity is it's a non-profit organization. All revenue after costs are donated to vetted projects. This company is really focused on using cryptocurrency and using their business model to give back to the community and beyond. And what's even cooler is that if you hold UnityCoin, you can have a vote on where that money is donated. You can go over to unity.sg to download their wallet, to look at historical data, and to become involved in the Unity project. I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, AAX. AAX is a futures trading exchange that has more than your average capabilities. They allow you to do spot, futures, and OTC for low fees on a highly secured trading platform. Highly qualified team that is focused on creating the world's best financial technologies and tools to allow for digital assets to be traded with simplicity and ease. AAX is one of the world's first digital asset exchanges powered by the LSEG. And the LSEG is the London Stock Exchange Group. Leveraging the LSEG's proven and robust and scalable technology, AAX provides institutional-grade exchange performance and reliability. You guys can learn more at aax.com. And we've seen a lot of really good crypto exchanges come through. There's ones that are highly regulated in the US, such as Coinbase, that allow users to buy in and out of cryptocurrency very simply and very easily. But we've also seen some more shady exchanges go on throughout the past few years alone. And this has been a problem since the beginning of crypto with exchanges like Mt. Gox that have caused thousands and thousands of Bitcoin to be lost or stolen. What should people look for when they're using an exchange to make sure that that exchange is legitimate?
Well, I think that actually the regulation or being regulated is more important than cybersecurity at the exchange. I'll explain why. So when exchange is regulated, so you undergo a huge due diligence process with the regulator. So they look at everything and they know everything about you, so they know everything about the team, and they actually do, in some cases, the due diligence on the tech as well, including cybersecurity. So if the exchange is regulated, so if it's licensed, then most probably it has the better cybersecurity and it has better transparency. And in case something goes wrong, so the regulator will interact. So if you talk about Mt. Gox or other examples of the exchanges which were busted, so actually you never know, was it a cybersecurity or security attack, or was it a fraud committed by the team or the founders? So if you're licensed, at least it's sort of guaranteed that if the founders commit the fraud, they'll certainly go to jail. So now let me talk a bit about the cybersecurity in general. So the thing is that the difficulty is that any system is as secured as the weakest element of the system. So, for example, even if I have this cold wallet with the key printed on paper and this paper is stored in the vault, but in order to do the withdrawal, so the guy has to go to the vault, take the paper, and then type it into the computer or whatever, or scan it somehow, right? So if you want to attack this process, so you won't go to attack the vault. You'll probably attack the guy while he's walking between the vault and his office, right? So the whole system will be as weak as the guy or his computer, which can be compromised, not as strong as the vault.
True.
And another thing is that in all the cybersecurity statistics, at least there are various sources, but at least half of the attacks go from inside rather than from outside. So basically, it's much cheaper to bribe a system administrator who is not happy with his bonus or with his boss or what have you, than to attack through the firewall. So that's the thing. And the whole cybersecurity is more organizational rather than technological. So you need to organize the process in a way that you minimize the losses, the potential losses from an attack. And therefore, so answering the questions about more secure and less secure exchanges. So I think that regulated, first of all, and probably exchanges with Western organizational patterns, such as Coinbase cracking, they're more reliable rather than not regulated exchanges in Asia in general.
What are some of the innovations that exchanges like yourselves are excited about? And what are some of the things that you guys are kind of working on and building on the back end that are, one, going to innovate the crypto exchange atmosphere, and two, set you apart from competition?
There are three most important parts in it. So first, as we are regulated and compliant, say we have pretty strong requirements on the client's due diligence. And everybody knows how difficult it is to get approved by the exchange. So you have to upload a bunch of documents, have to wait for a few days. So we focused on this problem, and we've built the registration process, which in some cases works under 15 minutes. In worst cases, it works a few hours, and it's very user-friendly. Another thing is the liquidity. So the exchange has to have a liquid order book. A liquid order book means that there have to be enough orders to fill basically your requests, your demands for buying and selling assets. And we have partnership with one of the largest institutional liquidity providers in the world, which streams the liquidity to the major pairs to our platform. And last but not least, none of the exchanges actually offer a thing called collocation. So our idea is that we provide virtual collocation, which means that if you want to build a bot, which will be trading on your behalf, catching the threads and doing arbitrage or what have you. So normally when you do this, so your bot is connected via internet, so you have the delay, the round trip delay over the internet. But what we do is we deploy your bot right inside our cloud infrastructure. Say the orders from the bot go directly to the order engine of the exchange without going over internet. And on top of that, and Robin will tell more about that, so we have a system which allows you to build bot in Python, test it on the historical data, and see how it performs, see that it does have the errors in the code, and then deploy it inside our exchange infrastructure.
So the way I like to think about it, it's kind of a democratization of inefficiencies. So what are inefficiencies? So inefficiencies can be many things, but for example, it could be a price mismatch. So Dimitri mentioned arbitrage. What does that mean? That means that I could, for example, buy a Bitcoin for $7,000 on exchange A, but sell it for $7,100 on exchange B. So if I would buy it on A, transfer it to B, and sell it on B, I would actually make $100. Of course, there are people that have bots that do these things automatically and monitor for exactly these types of inefficiencies and try to make a profit off of those. And this also holds true for much more subtle things such as the spread of market makers, etc. But in any case, I think these kind of opportunities should not be locked away to the big players, but everyone should be able to have a slice of that. And I think Crix algorithmic trading integration is the first step towards a future where this is true. So this is a future where everyone can now create their own automated traders, the so-called bots, and profit off of such things. Sometimes a little overlooked is the social aspect of trading. So, all the traders that I have spoken to, they actually want to share their ideas and they want to discuss their theories. Of course, not everything. There's always a little secret sauce that you want to keep to yourself. I think this aspect has been neglected quite a bit. So what we hope is that we can create a buzzing culture around algorithmic trading, a community with a free flow of ideas and insights on how to, create good automated traders. That's pretty much what I think sets us apart from the other exchanges.
Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to come on the podcast today to run through what an exchange is. For everybody listening, I think that you've got a lot of good information here. And Rob and Dimitri, thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Guys, that was a really fun episode with the Crix team. We had a lot of fun. We dove into the discussions around what an exchange is. We specifically talked about the different types of exchanges, which is what I really enjoyed. I think they gave really good definitions between a centralized exchange and a decentralized exchange. And we talked about the most important factor about exchanges, which is safety and regulation. I cannot stress it enough, guys. You gotta be safe when you sign up for these exchanges and when you put money on exchanges. So what I want you to do is I want you to look up the movement called Not Your Keys, Not Your Coins. This is part of the DYOR section of today's podcast. I want you to understand why it is so important to own your own private keys. So take a moment in the Do Your Own Research section of this podcast, sometime today or this week, to look up the importance of owning your own keys, read an article on it, and download a wallet like Trust Wallet that you can learn how to store your own private keys safely. Thank you for listening to the What is Crypto podcast. As always, please leave us a rating. Please leave us a review on iTunes. Please leave us a comment. It means the world to us. And stay tuned for next week's episode.